Yeah, I made a big mistake. I had no idea this unknown sedum was going to take off this quickly. It would have been a lot worse. You can, well, you probably can't see, but I had to trim a lot of it back. So it would work better in a container for sure. So sometimes a garden edit is necessary for various reasons. So I am editing this garden pathway at the pollinator garden because there is a sedum that is growing pretty aggressively and it's going to be hard to control later. So we're going to make that change, and in place of that we'll put in the English thyme because I know its growth habit really well. It will spread nicely, but if I don't want something, it's just easy to pull it out. Whereas this particular unknown sedum, if it touches the ground, I would say a lot of the sedum, on ground cover sedums, wherever you put in the ground, if it has contact with the soil, it will produce, or I should say more likely, it will set root. So, and the other reason why it's harder to control this is because you'll look at this, it's just so much of it, and as mentioned, if it touches the ground it will produce another one. And I believe this one reproduced itself as well by underground rhizomes. So anyway, you can see because there's just so much of it, it's just going to be hard to control as it gets wider and wider from its original spot. These started with just little plants, like one or two little stems, and it got like this really fast. So anyway, that is good for you to know. With sedums, just be careful where you put it. You want to put it somewhere where it can be contained at some point. And this one, if it were to be in a container, for example, it will look very pretty, and it's easier to control and manage. So anyway, this is what we're going to be editing today, moving all of these guys out. To remove these guys better, I think a flat shovel will be great. So here we go. This is my first time using the flat shovel on this, so not bad. And we'll put it on the orange, not orange, obviously I don't know my color. We're gonna put it on the blue tarp, and I'm gonna try to put them upside down. All right, just like that. I have a lot of soil on the blue tarp, which is gonna make it heavy. Now, I know that I've been complaining about this spring being hot. So good news, for the next 10 days, the weather is going to be so nice. There's going to be some rain each part of the day. So that is going to be so nice to have this transplanting done. So that way, less watering on my part, and then also it'll be easier on the plant to adapt to this new environment. And you will have some pieces that are left behind. I'm going to try to get those as much as I can. I may miss some, and then we'll just spot take them out as I notice them. And there's a small part right there. All right, I think this part is good for the most part. And we'll just have that section to do now. All right, a lot of it has been pulled out. Some of it I had to hand pull, so there might be still some underground rhizomes or runners. I don't know exactly what they have. So hopefully this is a good experiment to see if they will come back. And if they do come back, how aggressive they could get. It will be easier to pull them out if they do come back, because I will be monitoring them very closely. All we have to do now is plant these English thymes in. There are several plants. I don't know how many, at least 5 or 6, I believe. So put it on time lapse and we'll get going. So you probably noticed in the video that I did not fertilize, just based on my own experience in my garden. I typically don't need to fertilize herbs. So we have clay soil that has plenty of nutrients, and I just don't think herbs need need fertilizer, extra fertilizer. So I will just go based on what I have done. Yours, wherever you live, might be different. So with gardening is, as you know, it just depends on a lot of different factors. So what works in my garden may not work with yours. I would say safely that if you are in the same growing zone, same growing condition as I do, you live in the south, it's a good possibility that you can do what I do, especially if, I don't know if I mentioned if you have clay soil as well. So there they go. All right, they have all been planted, mulched, and watered in. So I would like to go ahead and show you the finished product. Now, it's not pretty. This year we're going with mostly being practical. So let me go ahead and show them to you. All right, here they are. It's better to actually prune them a little bit. I did not want to because I would like us to see what it could be once we get some size to them. So I think they don't look bad right now, and we're just going to expect them to fill up the space that they're in really well. I'm going to just love it. And sometime later I will come back and prune, because we have both seen them together. So there they are. So let me show you the size that they could get. So this started off with one plant. Can you believe that? So, and I don't think I pruned it at all, maybe except 1 or 2 times. This has been here for several years now. So this is actually their time to shine. They are blooming, but they are pretty inconspicuous. They're not very showy, so it's good to have at the pathway here. So look at that. I just love them. This is not a plant that I loved from the beginning. Just grew to love it because I've seen how it can fill up a space really nicely as a ground cover, and it has a good spreading habit. It's easy to, you know, take what you want or leave what you want and take out what you don't want. So that's what I'm hoping to do with these guys. So excited to see them spread in the future years. They will struggle a little bit just because of transplant shock. I try to not disturb the roots as much as possible, but you know, it's not always perfect. So hopefully the pruning later will help. And I did have one extra plant to put here that will kind of mirror the other side pretty well. So the take-home message is remove this sedum completely if you can, the way that we have done it. Put it somewhere on a hard surface, on a tarp, whatever. I would say a hard surface like on your asphalt would be the best. I didn't think this through. I could have just put it on the wheelbarrow and then move them to the asphalt later. But having it now, it might be a little too heavy. I'll just have to figure something out because I know I probably don't want to put it on this tarp for a long time just because we're going to get rain. It's going to get soggy. So anyway, I hope you will learn from my experience here. Just be careful planting your sedums. Plant them where you know that you can manage them better. Containers would be really good. If you plant it in a landscape like this where it could spread on you, just be warned unless you really want them to fill up that whole space for you. So anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, my name is Terry. Welcome to my channel. And if you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you for coming back. So with that, thank you again for watching this video, and until the next one, I hope you take care. Bye for now.